Boys and girls, welcome to Club Evil. I'm Evil Dick.
Evil Dick! Evil.
You're a devil in disguise is what you are. You're burning me on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they think that God gives a crap about what goes on in that house? And why do they think that he's going to part the Red Sea for them to the promised land? Didn't you watch last season? What they did show last season was me in the diary room praying to my God, Fred.
Like some young, tiny, small spaces. Evil Dick. These little gooey telltale.
Are you taking the cameras off of me?
Evil Dick.
And welcome back to Dick at Night, part 2 of the Ian interview, the Big Brother 14 champion. Hope you enjoyed part 1. I guess if you didn't, you wouldn't be back here for part 2. So enjoy and tell me what you think. Tweet me. Tell me to fuck off,
okay.
whatever. Now,
So
yeah.
on your new one now.
Let me know what you think about this.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
First purchase.
Mac or PC?
PC.
See, I just
Yeah, good.
Mac.
Well, you know, I like the Macs. It's just I've used it. I don't want to learn how to use the new shit.
So trust me, it's worth it. I got so many blue screens.
Oh, yeah.
One of my computers ended up, I lived on the 3rd floor in Hollywood, and I had my manager give me a call. She's like, Dick? Yeah? Is that your computer at the bottom of the pool? I'm like, oh, yeah. She goes, oh, I figured that was you. I'm like, I'll get it. She goes, oh, don't worry. I've gotten it taken care of. It's already out of there. She goes, I was just curious if that was you. I'm like, yeah, it was me. That was the last PC I've owned.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of if there's anything I missed here. Now, JoJo just kind of, let's touch on Willie.
Yeah.
You hated Willie.
I would say that's not actually true. I didn't like that he was gonna put my ass up the first 4 days, but after that, Willie and I were getting along fine, and even the night before, he flipped the shit on everybody and headbutted Joe. I was sitting there playing pool with him, and he said to me right before the live eviction, he pulls me in the arcade, he's like, look, is there any way you can vote Frank out? And I said, no. I said, I'm keeping Frank. I won't go against my team. Then I said to him, but your back is against a wall. Right now, we're 2 outsiders. If you wanted to work together, I would be down for that. I said, I'm voting Kara out tonight, but if you want to work together, if I get HOH, I'm going to go after Danielle to try and get Dan out of here. And he was like, I'm down. And I just said, as long as Frank or Joe doesn't get HOH, I think we can work together. Then Frank got it. But I didn't hate him, actually.
No, see, I thought that maybe you're supposed to end. I thought that you had some really bad feelings toward him. I think that Willie had what I call HOH. Go ahead.
I didn't like that he wasted the opportunity. He squandered an opportunity that millions of people would kill for. That's what I didn't like.
Well, this is Willie in a nutshell for me, from my perspective. There's a thing I call HOHitus. There's a couple phrases I've coined. One is the expanding house guest syndrome, where it's mostly the women, but how we fell into this, where they sit around and just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and they start getting fat as hell, gaining all of this weight.
There's not much to do in there, but yeah.
Then some of these people put on a lot of weight.
Yeah,
and the
other
other thing is HOHitus, where and it's so bad, I think, the first week, because the first week is not a week. The first week is almost 2 weeks of being HOH. Isn't it like 11 days?
It's 13 days or something, yeah.
Okay, so it is 2 weeks. So Willie's sitting up in the HOH thinking that he's King Willie with his crown. The motherfucker never wanted to even get out of bed. He's saying, can you go and get summon so-and-so to come up here and talk to me? Go get so-and-so to talk to me, and I need a turkey leg, and, can you clip my toenails, and, all of this bullshit. And I'm like, this guy's head is getting like this fucking big, man. And he's like fallen into this trap. And the trap is that first week of HOH because you're up there. And I mean, I never liked the HOH. When I was at HOH, I never spent a night in the HOH. I spent the night in my
slept up there. I slept up there. I listened to music hour or two a day because, hey, there's music here. I'm going to listen to music. But, yeah, I never used it besides taking a shit and sleeping and listening to music. And the reason was, why would I want to separate myself from the rest of the house? And and on top of that,
you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and even whenever what the hell was it? Even when you do that thing where you go upstairs, who wants to see the room, blah, blah, blah. I wait so long to get the room. I was HOH once before and didn't get the room. We were there for about 15, 20 minutes. We read I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if it was in the show. And then I just said, all right, let's get the hell out of here. I hate that part where everyone awkwardly sits around and doesn't want to be the first to leave. I'm just like, let's go. We're not doing this week.
That whole thing is so stupid. It's just, I always thought it was just ridiculous. And you were in the position where, actually, I had an HOH first, but you get screwed out of the HOH during a double eviction.
You're right. Yeah, I think I got like the letter from home and it said my grandma was pissed or something like that. You know, because she wasn't familiar with how the show works. Like, she thought when I popped out of the diary room to announce we were playing the next one, she thought it was going to be go upstairs to see my room. She was. But yeah, I didn't give a shit. I just want to nominate people. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I think Ashley said she wanted to be HOH just for the snacks.
Kalia and Danielle last season, my daughter Danielle. Won. Danielle won HOH, Kalia won HOH, Danielle won HOH, and for 3 weeks they didn't come out of the fucking HOH but to go downstairs and eat. And I always find it to be so stupid because you need to. Big Brother is about relationships, and even the people that are on the opposite side. You need to have some kind of rapport with these people in case things don't work out, and you need to get an alliance with them or something.
And that was one thing.
People talk. You're letting them plan your demise and giving them the whole house to do it in.
And that was the thing. Was I remember Boogie and Frank. I got a lot of criticism from them early on. Particularly was like Shane would put them up, but then I would play pool with Shane or play pool with Brittany or whatever, and then they would not be happy about it. They'd get all pissed off, and they said, look, this is the opposite side. Why are you fraternizing with them? And I was like, you're going to alienate yourself from them? That's not a good idea.
Yeah, no shit. And the only time I ever saw that even work was Survivor with Boston Rob, where he like shit on the other side, wouldn't let his tribe, even after the merge, even look in their direction or anything else. Treated
the buddy
like
system,
Yeah, and still, the buddy system. That's right. I forgot about that. So they can't get you alone and try to change your mind or talk or blah blah blah. And but that's the only time I've ever seen it work. There's going to be somewhere down the line where you're going to need these people for something. And it's always a good idea to, at least have some type of rapport with them. Even so. And
that was my thing, was towards the very end when we were down to about 7 or so people, I put Joe up as replacement, obviously trying to get Frank out. And I kept on good terms with them because, hey, I might need a safety net if some crazy shit goes down.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. No. And you always have to plan for that, no matter what.
Exactly.
So, it is what it is. I got some, I haven't even looked at these, but this is like a Jeff Schroeder thing, which I think is lame on his show, but my fans are different than his fans, believe it or not.
All right.
So I'm going to read some Twitter stuff. Love you here in Canada, Ian. Just watched BBUK 14. So fun. Have you ever watched BBUK?
Yes, I actually have. In fact, I've seen it since about 2006. I really like the British one. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, different game, but I like it.
Yeah, well, it's the game that the rest of the world plays.
Yeah,
besides
exactly.
us, and now Canada.
Yeah.
Canada's going to be playing the U.S. version of the game, where it's more of a competition than anything else. Did you like the guy? Didn't the guy with Tourette's win?
Yeah, he did. And I liked that because like I could relate because I have ADHD, so I was like, hey, this guy's getting out there, he's doing his thing. I liked it, yeah.
Dude, you're ADHD. You were rocking the fuck out of that hammock. Did you break the first hammock? Is that why they bought another one?
I didn't break it, but like it was just that thing was a piece of shit. Like it was creaky.
It was squeaky really loud.
Yeah, and it had like suntan lotion like caked into it from all the years of use of people just putting the oil on it. It was disgusting.
Well, that hammock has been there since the beginning, has it not?
For a long ass time. Yeah, I mean it was on its last leg. Like the thing was clearly about to fall apart.
And then they got your new hammock, and man, you would swing the fuck out of that new hammock.
Oh yeah, the new hammock was freaking great. I mean, that was the thing. Indoor lockdowns, like, I couldn't deal with because I was just, like, I couldn't find anywhere to, like, move around and just have a good position. Like, that's the thing. You know, here at my house, I have I have a rocking chair or, like, a recliner, like a lazy boy. There's nothing like that, so the hammock was the next best thing.
And I hated the indoor lockouts. I hated the outdoor lockouts. I didn't like being locked in, but I didn't like being locked out either.
Yeah.
That shit would like drive me like mad. And there's, I smoked, so there was, the indoor lock-ins that were over 24 hours were just kind of a pain in the ass. And but I think some of the worst stuff in Big Brother for me was sitting outside when somebody's doing the memory ball stare down for the nominations of the POV, and you have to be quiet for like an hour. And just stare at each
no
other.
Food those were terrible. That was horrible. The thing was at the end when I was actually winning shit, it was a hell of a lot better because I didn't have to just sit in the hot sun the whole time.
Yeah, people don't realize what goes on. They get these looks of everybody like looking worried. When nobody's really worried, they're just sitting there fucking sick and tired of being in a fucking 100-degree heat out in the backyard, stuck out there, and not allowed to talk to anybody.
Guys, no talking. Take your sunglasses off. We need some shots. Oh.
Yeah, and it's like you can't get those in 10 minutes. You got to take it. It literally has to be close to an hour, right?
Yeah, it was about an hour. I think the longest one we were out there for like an hour and a half. I don't know what was going on.
Miserable. And then they do the same thing at the table before nominations, where everybody has to be quiet and just stare at each other, and somebody will like start making jokes, and then everybody will laugh, and then they're like, we need you to quiet down, no talking. So.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read this as I go along. Which skulldugger bothered him the most? What the hell's a skulldugger? Am I missing something?
Skullduggery was Boogie and I's term for like a backstab, and it kind of caught on the house. Which skulldugger bothered me the most was when Frank put Brittany up because, believe it or not, I was one of the few people that would humor keeping Frank around. Like, I really didn't. I would have rather gotten Jen out because I knew she was going to come after me, whereas Frank I felt like I could at least work with a little bit. But then once Frank put Brittany up, I was like, well, that's fucking done. I'm getting his ass out of here.
I got one from Smitty Dog. What up? I got one. What past winner would you compare yourself to? And did you know Dr. Will predicted you would win in week 3?
Yeah.
So what past winner would you compare yourself to?
I guess one that won a lot of competitions. The strategic game was okay. Just had a good alliance from early on. Tried to stick with them. I guess I guess you could say Drew would probably be the winner whose game mine most resembled.
Are you kidding me? How can you compare yourself to Drew? Watching Drew was like watching grass grow, dude. That was like the most torturous event ever.
I don't know. Who would you say? Because I don't think I could compare my game.
I wouldn't compare you to anybody.
I guess that's just the most similar answer. I guess young guy.
Compare you to the most would be Cochran from Survivor.
Yes,
where you were
I would agree with that.
On the outside, kind of a nerdy guy. But everyone really started to really like him.
I would say Cochran. I would say Stephen Fishbaugh is another one that I would say is a comparison that I believe.
Both Cochran and Stephen are fans of yours as well. I don't know if you talked to them on Twitter or whatever, but
I have.
They both watch Big Brother, and they're both good guys. Question. This is from Tim. Tim the Moore or something, I don't know. Question, Ian, what were you thinking about on the hammock? Reminded me of Evil Dick on the couches strategizing. Quack. Is that a question? It's more of a statement.
No, when I was on the hammock, I was always just playing out different scenarios. I would try to work backward from the end and say, well, if this happens, then this will happen. How can I position myself to be kind of in the middle? I did most of my strategy thinking when I was on the hammock.
I did a lot of mine, most of mine outside after everybody went to sleep, and I would do it talking out loud to the cameras.
Yeah, that's what I would try to do.
Something to watch. It would drive me crazy when I was a finalist in season 5, a finalist in season 6. Is this your first time applying because you're 21?
Yeah, first time I could apply. So pretty lucky.
Took me 3 years to get on. You get in on one shot there.
Yep, and won. It was great.
That's awesome.
Very lucky break.
From Maya Starks, what does he think of the Dan fanatics going on and on about Dan being robbed and crying about the bitter jury?
He didn't manage the jury. He didn't win. Okay, I won comps, so I have one thing on him. I know he was probably throwing a lot. I played a better social game, so I got 2. Strategy, he was better than me, but I got him on 2 of the 3.
But, let me tell you something. Dan went into the diary room and said that he was throwing comps when I know for a fact he wasn't throwing comps. I don't give a fuck what he says, what anybody says. During that, the pirate ship, the leaning pirate ship thing?
Yeah. I could tell he said he threw it, but I don't think he did.
Now, who stays up there he was up there over 2 hours. If you're going to throw it, you throw it like Dr. Will in the first 15 minutes. Before you're all suffering, you go, oh, I slipped. Ah!
Yep.
You don't stay up there in agony for over 2 hours and then go in the dining room and say that you threw it. I call bullshit on that.
And that's the thing. I mean, granted, when I was on that pirate ship, I'm standing there, my head spinning. I had no idea who the hell I would nominate if I actually got the shit. So whenever I was able to cut the deal for safety, I was like, done fucking deal, because I can play next week. If I don't go up, I don't care. I just wanted to know I was there for a week so I can sort things out and figure out where I stood.
Those competitions, that particular competition, along with any type of hanging competition, is made for the girls to win. It's always won by a woman. The only other time that competition was won by a guy, and Matt Hoffman got pissed off at me because I said that he was built like a woman. He's like, you're talking shit. I'm like, dude, you're like fucking 5'4", you weigh like 110 pounds, you're built like a fucking woman. That's why you won that competition.
And that's the thing, and that's probably why I was up there the longest time, was because I had been on slop for 3 straight weeks. So at that point in time, I think I weighed about 109 pounds at my lowest. So that's probably why I was up there so long. But I was up there long enough to cut a deal. And JoJo would have done very well at that.
There hasn't been that was the closest to a real endurance competition in a very long time in Big Brother.
Yes.
It's always deals being cut. I can't let this go too either. It came to my mind earlier, and then it kind of went away. Why the fuck did you let Dan talk you into throwing the first part of the HOH, you dumb son of a bitch? And if you would have lost, I would have been sitting here laughing at you saying, why did you fucking throw that competition, you dumbass?
Two things. One, I knew that Dan said to me before the eviction vote, he's like, if I manage to keep your ass here, because the night before I was like, it's done, I had a good run, I'm out of here, peace. And then he said, if I manage to keep your ass here, you need to throw me part 1. So I'm sitting there like, with my back against the wall, so I go, yeah, sure, I'll throw part 1. And then I figured, part 2 is always like some kind of mental, physical thing, and I knew that I would beat Danielle's ass because she was neither physical nor mental. So I was confident enough.
Not in that way.
Yeah. I was confident enough that I could beat Danielle in the other one, and I was right. I beat her by like a minute and a half. So.
Yeah, it was, but I don't know. Those
it was a huge roll of the dice. Roll of the dice.
Was. And Dan was
that's what the game's about.
If Dan won the first one, all he needed was Danny to win the second one, and you were gone. You won the second one. He figured he could win the third one. But Dan knew he was going to the final 2 regardless. So has Dan told you outright if he threw the questions or not? He was talking about throwing them, but then it didn't look like he was throwing them to me. It looks like he fucked up at the end.
I think
3 or 4?
He hasn't told me. He got the first 2 and then bombed all the other ones.
Which I was really surprised, but I wasn't sure because he was talking to the camera saying that he might throw it in, but it didn't make sense to me because I think he definitely would have won over Danielle, to be honest with you.
I would have voted for him over Danielle. Even if he had voted me out, I probably would have voted him over Danielle. Not because I'm a puppet, but just because I think Danielle's game was
crap.
Nothing. She won a handful of comps and got dragged by Shane and Dan.
Yeah,
Dan and to a lesser extent me.
Everything to do every step of the way. She would run to Dan and ask him if she should wipe back to front or front to back. And he would tell her, it was just ridiculous after a while. Emily Tobali says, will he marry me? Just letting you know, it's a marriage proposal for you.
That's the thing is I get these women trying to get me to date their daughters or something. It's funny.
Ian, this is a ridiculous thing because we both know that that coach thing was complete and utter bullshit. Ian, if Julie would have said there was still a coach's prize, who would you have given it to? Britt, Dan, or Boogie? I don't know why Janelle's not in there, but...
let me put it this way. I very much liked Brittany, personally. However, as far as the coaches were, I think Boogie, one, did the best job of picking his team. Because, I mean, let me tell you this. When Dan picked Kara, I was like, okay, so I'm going to be the 5th pick. He picks Danielle. I'm like, all right, that was weird, but okay. Then Janelle goes, and she picks Ashley, and I said to myself, you've got to be shitting me. You've got to be. I said, I thought Willie or me would have to be the next one picked, and she picks Ashley. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell was that? Then Boogie finally sees the light, and he goes, I'll take Ian. I'm like, thank God, because if I was in the last round, I was going to be pissed, because there was no reason in hell I should have been in the last round. I know I look like I wouldn't be able to do anything, but Boogie did the best job of picking the team. It was well-rounded. He got physical, he got mental, and then he got someone who was going to play an okay social game and float by. So he did the best job of picking the team. And on top of that, Boogie did the best job of actually coaching from what I saw, because early on I was walking around like a chicken with my head cut off, and he just basically pulls me into the room and he goes, you need to cut the shit. Just straight up cut the shit. And then he molded me into a good player. So I think Boogie would deserve the 100,000. I think Boogie did the best job coaching.
The next question. What do you think of all of Danielle's lies by Sandra S?
Yeah, I'm yet to know the full extent because I haven't seen all the episodes, so I'm just going off what I've heard. The cancer thing is...
You're not going to see it on the episodes, though. You're not going to see it on the episodes.
Not
it's
on
only
there?
on the feeds. No, they gave her a very good. They gave her a very good edit. It was
okay.
It was on the feeds where all of the bullshit went.
I mean, I've heard this cancer thing. I heard that her and Trey never actually did anything or ever even dated, and she seemed to talk about him a lot. I would just, I'm not happy about it. I don't know what the point to lying about that is. Does it make me think of her less as a person? Not really, because by the time the last week rolled around and she was acting like a child, I already thought less of her than I did. I don't really give a shit, but it's not like good.
What about somebody told you that she was running around telling Dan she wanted to snap your neck and all this other stuff, right?
I heard she wanted to snap my neck and cut my dick off with a butter knife or something like that. My parents were telling me, like, she said to Dan, like, I don't want that fucking nutcase to win. He's clearly out of his mind. He's off his rocker. He's not right in the head, blah, blah, blah. And then she was just treating me like dog shit on the back patio when there was like 2 nights left, and she's like, how can you possibly take Dan over me? Dan's an evil man. You're a coward for wanting to go against him. You're cowering behind a villain. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what were you trying to pull last week? You used the veto on Dan thinking that I was going to go. So it's okay for you to take Dan to the end, but it's not okay for me to take Dan to the end, is what I'm sitting there thinking. And I straight up, she's treating me like dog shit, and I go, are we going to be friends afterward? And she just goes, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It just was...
There's going to be, let me tell you, out of this season, the only people that are really going to be remembered are you and Frank. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
The rest of the people...
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, by the time the next season starts, most of the rest of the cast is going to be forgotten about. As a whole. So,
sure.
Chasing Normal says, Ian tweeted he bought a new computer. What kind did he get? And did he get that new bike? New bike? Need a motorcycle, motherfucker?
No, I got it's like an HP, or, I don't know, it's got some, I don't know, it says Beats Audio on it. I don't know, what is it? A Pavilion M6 1045 DX Entertainment PC.
That's what he's got, ladies and gentlemen. What about the new bike?
It's been really shitty weather here so far. I haven't gotten a chance to go out and look at bikes. And, the one I have downstairs in the basement's perfectly good, so I might hold off on that.
Oh, good for you. And put that money away for taxes, bro. It's almost half.
That's what I'm doing.
Ask Ian if we it's a good people really like look at their stuff. Okay, this is all about Danielle. Was your BB experience? This is by Jen H with a little infinity sign afterwards.
Yeah.
Was his BB experience everything he hoped it would be? And if asked to, would he return for an all-star or a good versus evil season?
Yes, and yes, as long as I finish my degree, because I have to get that shit done. I can't put it off anymore.
How much more time do you have on that?
Should be done by December 2013. So as long as it's not next year. Yeah, I was going to take a class this summer. I took off for that, and because I've missed a month of class, I'm taking off till January. But I got to get that shit done. I can't put it off anymore.
That's right, yeah. It starts before. Yeah, so you missed the whole fall semester, right?
Yeah, I'm just taking off till January. And I think it's a good thing because I feel like if I got out of there and went down there, it would just be, I'd be going crazy. I need time to readjust, I think.
Yeah, I think there was an Olympic swimmer here out of Denver, a young girl. I can't remember what her name was, but as soon as she was done with the Olympics, she had like a week before she started school again. She's like right back in school. And it has to be insane because like the whole world knows who she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Winning like a couple, 2-3 gold medals and all that stuff. Did you catch up on any of the Olympic stuff, or that's just like way too soon? Do you even care?
Yeah, I don't really care. I looked into sports a little bit, baseball mainly, just to see where things are at, because I really like baseball. But no, I haven't really looked into the Olympics. I heard that not much really happened. So, I didn't look into it.
What did you think about the prize going out of the house that Shane and Danielle got? You think it was a great prize? Were you envious? Did you think it was like, what the fuck? I didn't mean shit.
I didn't care. I mean, I was like, well, I guess it would probably be kind of cool to get out of the house, but I didn't give a shit. When I heard that Shane won a luxury prize, I was like, well, him and Danielle are going to go. And I didn't give a shit. I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I went back to the hammock and, drank Diet Coke. Yeah.
I thought it was a ridiculously stupid prize, especially considering the fact that nobody saw the Olympics in the house.
Right.
You go to this. I just thought it definitely wasn't like June winning the prize to go walk the red carpet and go to the VMAs in Big Brother 4.
Right. And that was the other thing was I liked how Shane and Danielle went on that trip, and somehow Danielle had somehow figured out that everybody that was in the Quack Pack was really well liked, including her. So I think it must have been a shock to her system when she got out to find out that really Dan and I were liked, Shane was okay, Brittany was liked, but then no one really was digging her too much. Because she somehow gathered from the trip that she and Shane were like America's love story or something. I don't know.
She's a wacko. Robin Evans, a girl Robin, there's not very many guy Robins anymore, but Robin Evans says, tell him he is gangsta for saying, I don't respond to threats, and I'm risk adverse?
I'm risk averse, yeah.
Okay. Why no one stood up and said BS to the funeral, which we already talked about. So stop giving me, I'm supposed to be getting questions, not statements. Was Ian trying to throw the third round of the final HOH? He looked upset when he got into the lead and won.
No.
Very happy.
What happened was I thought that it didn't matter, but I was definitely going to try. I mean, I definitely wanted to win that shit. When I won, I was thinking, well, now I have to cut Danielle, so I'm going to look bad in doing so. But no, I was trying to win that. There's no way in hell I would have ever thrown it. No way in hell.
No, I knew you weren't throwing it just from.
I just was like, well, now I have to do the dirt, and I was worried because I knew that Danielle was pissed and she was gonna.
Somebody's got to do it, and that's just tough shit.
Yeah.
It's just the way the game is.
Exactly.
Somebody's got to go home, and stop your fucking crying. It is what it is.
Yep, exactly, and that's what it was, and that was my thing was I won it, and I was thinking like inside I'm jumping up and down, I'm like it's great, yes, I'm $50,000, but at the same time I'm like I'm gonna cut Danielle, she's gonna be bullshit, and it's like if Dan had won maybe she wouldn't be as mad, but I definitely said I'm not gonna throw it to you, and I obviously tried because I didn't miss a single question.
I'm still in shock that you threw the first part, and whenever
there was no way I would
cover your nets because I'm going to try to kick you in the balls for throwing that first part of the HOH. It's somebody that has a name I can't even it's just I don't know, but symbols. You insisted that you didn't get misted by Dan, but you did. You blamed Frank for Brit's eviction, not knowing Dan orchestrated the whole thing.
Well, I would say I got misted, but I would say that in the end I was the only person that eventually kind of sussed out the mist when he was trying to pull it on me that one last time and get me to throw it to him, because he'd put on this elaborate show trying to get me to throw the last game. I wasn't buying what he was selling, and then I played hard. I tried in the last HOH comp part 3. I won it. I booted Danielle's ass and then won the game. So in the end, everyone got misted, including me, but I was like the one person that at the last 2 days figured it out and didn't get misted.
Well,
he couldn't miss me the whole time.
The bottom line is you knew that you would win against Dan. You took Dan over taking Danielle to the final, which I thought was very ballsy, taking someone that is like one of the best players to the final too, who is such a good talker, and you won.
Yep.
So my hat's off to you. Nick DeSumma says, Ian, besides winning the money, what was the most accomplishing moment for you inside the house, non-game related?
Well, non-game related, I guess that rules out the shark fin win. I would say.
Is that your best? Is that your favorite moment was the shark fin win?
Yeah, the second that I pulled that shark fin out of that puzzle and then ran down the lane and hit that button, I don't think I'd ever felt that good in my entire life up until that point, because I didn't know I needed it, but it felt like I just pulled off the most clutch thing I'd ever done. And I've watched that clip. That is the one clip that I have watched and watched over, is us playing that game. And I look at it now, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't think any of the other people were even close. I think Shane had moved about 2 feet, and everybody else, Dan was the next closest. He's about 60% of the way through the puzzle. I think I was the only one that figured out that the way you're supposed to do it was to look ahead and see where the lanes were going and not just move the fin around like haphazard. But best non-game related moment for me, I think the most fun was, I don't know. I like the dog punishment. I had a blast with that shit.
Let me tell you, when my reaction to that punishment, that outfit was, I'm like, they're just, what are they trying to, like, humiliate these people over and over? I'm like, I'll tell you what I would have done. I would have taken a shit right outside the doghouse, right in the backyard, right there. Slept in the doghouse next to it. If I was in the house, I would have went and pissed on Frank's leg.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about that punishment was it was only for 24 hours. So that was the thing was, I figured that was a really good way to gain favor with people, because I knew at that point in time I was still trying to find my footing, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, it's only for 24 hours, and it's going to be funny, and it's a lot easier than the other the spiritard punishment, because that shit's for a whole week, and it gave Frank like ingrown hairs because it was so tight and all this bullshit. So I just thought to myself, I had no guarantee of keeping the vacation or the other prize, the veto ticket. So I said, I have no guarantee of keeping that shit. So I'm like, this is an easy friggin' decision right here. But I wasn't allowed to take it off for, the only thing I could take it off for was to go to the bathroom. And I wasn't allowed to shower, take a bath, pool, hot tub during the whole, no bath or shower, because dogs don't take showers. Yeah.
The people that end up in these costumes, the costumes can make you endearing, can endear you to the viewing audience. Zach in my season, everyone hated him until he wore the bunny suit, and he had fun with it. In my season, we had Kale, who was like, hated being in the bunny suit every moment of it, tried to get away with not wearing it as much as she could, and all this other bullshit. And I actually went into the diary room and go, hey, she's supposed to be in a bunny suit out there. She's like suntanning with the thing hanging around her toe. What the fuck is this? So they call her in there and they make her put it on. I don't even know if she knew that. I did like tell on her, but fuck her. You got you said that you would wear it. Wear the goddamn thing, and you just have fun with it. And that's
what I said. It's like, you know what? Who really? I mean, come on now. We're on some silly ass game show. They make us wear these. Was the dog thing or the spiritard or whatever the hell, was that any worse than the giant tortilla chips? No. They've seen us taking a dump. Who gives?
What do you think about one of my big complaints about Big Brother is recycling these competitions over and over and over. You brought up the tortilla chips. That's why it came to mind. Where last season, before I left, it was the milk moon cow.
Oh, yeah, the lime, lemon, the milk cow, yeah.
It was the exact same competition, the exact same fishbowl competition, over and over and over. The only, one of the only new ones was the shark fin. What's your opinion about it?
I feel like there's some classics that get used. To be honest, I do think the one, OTEV, but that's a classic. The prize trade one is that's a classic. Though I think that's getting a little bit played out, and people are starting to wise up to that shit. But There were some new ones, but we all know a lot of rehash stuff. The mattresses, that was a pretty new concept. The memory chip was basically the same as...
How many people got hurt in that mattress one?
I don't know. I didn't get hurt. I don't think anybody really got hurt. Jody, hurt her lip or something, but I don't think anybody really hurt themselves.
I thought that's where Ashley got hurt.
No. Ashley got hurt because the have-not bed gave her they didn't put a pad on the beds the first week, so her back got all fucked up.
I think she probably got hurt during the S&M video she was making.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
My personal opinion. I just lost it. My phone just went all the way to the top. God damn you, Twitter. But somebody was saying that Dan was saying in a bunch of interviews that if he won the final HOH, he was going to take you. You're not buying
I think he was trying to save face. I don't really know. I've seen that maybe a few clips of the last episode. I haven't watched it in full. But from what I understand, if I didn't win that, I was dead. So I think he was just trying to save face or something. I don't know. But I think it's just a mystery we'll never know. I don't think he would have taken me.
I don't know.
I highly doubt he would have.
I think that he would have won hands down with Danny.
Yes, I think he. I would have voted for him.
Okay, I'm trying to catch up to where I was, and somebody asked if you kept the ring, but we know that you exchanged that right afterwards. The necklace.
We exchanged our collateral right after. He gave me his grandfather's necklace, and I gave him the stuffed snake that I had since I was 10. And we exchanged right back afterwards. You brought a
stuffed snake into the house?
No, it was a gift to my HOH basket. I had since I was 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
yeah.
Why did Ian make himself seem so great when he just listened to all the coach tell him what to do? The coaches thing, you were done with the coaches. Well, your coach left, Brittany. Or your coach was Boogie, right? Your coach was Boogie.
Right.
Yeah, but they were out early. You had the whole second half of the game to play. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, I don't either. In the beginning, there was not one person in there that was playing the game for themselves. They all listened to their coach pre-reset. Nobody made everyone was too afraid to make a move because they'd run back to their coach and then say, so-and-so said this, and then it would be like, oh, that person's a schemer, get them the fuck out of here. So no one did anything that went against their coach. I think Will, Ashley, myself were really the first people that just decided to buck the system and do whatever the fuck we wanted.
I got a question from Kendra_Shay. If he likes polite young redheads, he's my favorite. I don't know anybody that describes themselves as polite.
Yeah, that's probably a sign that they're actually not polite. I feel like people that go out of their way to say they're polite typically aren't. But that's funny.
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say Kendra.
Yeah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Redheads are attractive. Yeah.
2 feet and 2 hands on the ball. Jennings still in the air. Oh, somebody's talking to me about football. Let's talk Jen. You've been watching the season. She's gotten about where you're at, with Janelle's eviction. I think she's gotten a total of about 1 minute of FaceTime on the show. It has to be the most boring, horrible house guest of probably all time. She only got more FaceTime later because there was so few people left, and they really tried to soften her up in a lot of different ways. But she was just. What's your opinion being in the house? I know my opinion is being out of the house, but
to me, once we got down to the last 7 people, I obviously had, I thought I had the Quack Pack. The Quack Pack was there when it was convenient for them to be in the Quack Pack, which was frequent because I was winning comps all the time towards the end. But, I thought to myself, well, I'll get Frank out of here, and then Joe and Jen don't really do shit. At least, Joe tries, but Jen kind of doesn't really do much of anything besides, I remember she took a lot of naps. And I thought when I was in there, I was like, I don't know, if you're going to sleep 15 hours a day, you're kind of squandering the opportunity, I think. So
people don't appreciate it. There's always those people that go in there and sleep. Last season, the week that I was in there, Kalia did nothing but sleep and eat. It's just like, and I would say, and Jessica in season 8. She's a nice girl, but this bitch would like stay in bed all motherfucking day, and then until somebody would say, "Oh, there's beer in the storage room." Beer? And she'd jump out of bed. And I'm like, there's no that was the thing was way I'm losing to this girl.
People in the house would always give me shit because I would sleep in. Oh, I would sleep in until about noon every day. But once I was up until 3 a.m. or, 4 a.m. It wasn't like I was, getting up at 9 a.m. but then taking a 5-hour nap every afternoon. I don't know.
I get it, man. I just don't understand it myself.
Yeah.
There was one. Oh. Here's a question. It's come up a lot. I know that you've heard it. Have you realized, Snap says, OOH Snap says, has he realized yet that he didn't start the Quack Pack? Because you've taken the credit for it, and so many people were so quick to say he's full of shit, he didn't start the Quack Pack. You were the most faithful to the Quack Pack. What do you have?
Okay,
tell them.
Here's my thing. There was an alliance of 4. I don't know what the fuck it was called. I think it was called the Quad Squad or something like that, where it had those 4. I come upstairs and I'm like, hey, let's have a new alliance. It's you 4 plus me. This new alliance is called the Quack Pack. I built off an existing alliance to make a new one. Therefore, I formed the Quack Pack. Period. Done. End of story. Yes, the groundwork was there. Yeah, it's like saying there's the frame of a house and it's there, and then I put the bricks on it and I put the shingles on the roof. Therefore I formed it. I made the Quack Pack for the 18 millionth time. The groundwork was there. I added to it, and then that was it. There was a 4-person alliance. I made it a 5-person alliance. New alliance. Quack Pack. Done.
You think you're answering these questions now, and it's going to be settled. You're going to be hearing the same shit forever. My season was 8. This season is 14, and I still get this bullshit about, if it wasn't for America's player, you wouldn't have won.
Sure.
I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. The money's in my bank, and, I won the game, and that's that. So they can kiss my ass.
Exactly.
And a lot of people saying bitter jury, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead.
He didn't manage the jury well, period. Done. End of story.
I completely and utterly agree.
Social game and competition game, I beat him. Yes, he strategized better than me. Yes, he worked people better than me. I had him on 2 of the 3 counts. I think I deserve to win just because of that. Say he won a lot of competitions and pissed people off, and then I won. Like, say I didn't win jack shit competition was. Okay, then I would say, yeah, sure, I didn't deserve to win it all. But, I think both of us played great games, and I think that, or at least a good game, and I think that either one of us winning was deserving. Period.
I thought that Dan was so all about being Chilltown and trying to get into bed with Boogie so desperately that he was even blind to the fact that Frank was his number one, and he's still trying to make deals with him. I don't think that Dan really even started playing the game until Frank went to him and said that he considered backdooring him. One of the weeks that Frank was HOH.
Yeah.
He went up to him and told him that I was considering backdooring you. And that's when Dan woke up and said, "Hey, motherfucker," and actually started playing the game. And that's when he started playing, and he played, my mind, my eyes, I think he played way too hard. He told lies that were not necessary. He grandstanded when it wasn't necessary. His jury management was extremely poor. And, that's why he ended up ultimately losing in the game.
And, that reminds me of another thing I'd like to bring up is I remember when Danielle was just chewing my ass out on the back patio during the last 3 or so days. She was like, "Oh, and by the way, you had a very, very easy ride to get here. Nobody ever gunned for you because they thought you were weak and a complete jackass and a complete waste of the HOH." And then
who gunned for her? Who gunned for her?
That? Yeah, and then I remember, and then I said, my response to that was, well, obviously now I know people were actually gunning for me for basically the second half of the game, and I wasn't privy to it at all. And on top of that, she didn't really do shit. She got dragged, and she's saying that I shouldn't win against Dan when she's laying into me on the patio because I didn't get nominated until, very late. And I'm thinking to myself, no shit, I didn't get nominated. You think I'm trying to get myself put up on the block? I didn't go up until day 62 for a reason. Because I managed to worm my way out of it every friggin' time. If you're saying I shouldn't win because I didn't get nominated, that's like saying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sucks because he's tall. Stupid.
And it's all about not getting nominated, keeping yourself off the block when you're on the block.
That's the thing. Can't go home if you're not nominated. So I staved it off until day 62, longer than anybody else.
Well, you most definitely did not play a Jordan-type game where, I felt that Jordan didn't do anything and they awarded her because she was nice and they hated Natalie. That was
right.
And I've said it plenty of times, and all the J-Joe people who none are subscribing, so I don't give a fuck because they all hate me because I talk shit. But it's the truth. Jordan's not a good player. I'm really sorry. She's just not. I don't care if she ended up Final Four again because she's not a threat. She's not a threat to win anything. She's not a threat to anyone. She's just nice. It's not a good social game when she's just being Jordan. It's not a game. I don't know, whatever. But you didn't play that. You played. And I appreciate
I would say that in there, out of everybody, Dan and I played the best games. So I think the final two, very deserving final two. Shane played a very good game as well, and I think Frank's competition game was great. I wish his social game panned out a little more. It would have been a lot better for him. But I feel like the final two were the two most deserving people. It could have gone either way, and it would have been the winner would have been just fine, no matter what. It really came down to who managed the jury better, and that was me.
I think that the final two was the right final two, and I think the winner was the correct winner. I said it that night.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, I watch the East Coast feeds because I do the recaps, and then my girlfriend watches on Mountain Time, and I'm in the middle of doing the recap in this room, and she sticks her head in, and she's crying. She's so happy that you won. So that's sometime or another. I'll introduce you to my girlfriend Amy. She's a huge fan. She loves you to death, and
very
she congratulates you as well as I do.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Amy.
You're very welcome. And this is about it. So we can wrap it up. I want to say, Ian, wow, we've been here for almost 2 hours talking, but there was a lot to talk about. It's not like this 15-minute backyard interviews. I mean, we got a lot of stuff out there. And
I agree. Very productive. And it's good to be asked different questions. I think they were a good set of questions. So very good interview. I liked it.
Yeah, it was, that's the thing that people like the way that I interview people because I've been there, because I know the questions to ask, because I'm not going to pull punches. Because if I was talking to Danielle, I would call her a crazy bitch. I called Adam. Okay, Adam last season. When I was doing the backyard interviews, I brought a laptop up to him that said, because he thought he's such a great player. And I'm like, dude, you sucked. And I'm like, I bring out this Entertainment Weekly page, and it says, is Adam the worst Big Brother player in history? I go, this is what people are thinking of you, dude. So you get a lot of people in denial, and I like to, just tell it the way it is, tell what's up, and you've been a great guest, and it's been good talking to you, over the phone, texting, so on and so forth, and definitely keep in touch, and next season, if I decide to do these ticket nights, I definitely would like you on as a guest.
Absolutely. I would love to.
All this stuff would be a good time. And it'd be good to get your input. I would love to. You're a good guy. Be careful with your money. Go to school. Get as much pussy as you can. Use a condom.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, man.
Right. Take it easy.
Peace out.
Thanks,
Ian. I'm going to end the call. Bye.
See ya.